So this is pretty new for me. Like it's doing this interpretation thing, but it's kind of, let's give it a try. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see. I'll wait until
Oh, we are
people.
live already.
Yeah, I'm live already. Yeah. Well, I always wait a little bit for people to come in and then start. Like, how do you do it? Because you do the same thing, right?
Yeah,
No?
normally that our followers, they know the time.
Mm-hmm.
They're just waiting, and then we start straight at 7:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Panama times. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Hola, Ini, ¿qué tal?
Bien, bien, gracias. ¿Tú qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo te ha ido?
Bien, bien, aquí estaba fuera de mi casa, pero parece que la señal es muy mala, así que me vine a la cama. Estoy durmiendo.
So, Gasale, you have been quite busy, no? Doing live has been nice, you know. Sometimes I watch it.
You watch it sometimes?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. But I'm trying to watch yours as well sometimes, but my Spanish is not as good as I want it to be.
And then
That's
this time is a mix. Kuna, Spanish.
Spanglish. It's like Spanglish.
Spanglish, yeah. Okay, yeah. I think the next couple, I'll be able to speak Spanglish a little bit better than, than what I can right now.
You need to practice more with Estebancio. And
Oh, or Estebancio, Onel, and yeah, yourself as well, and Hoka as. So that'll be interesting. All right, yeah, I think people are like coming in, so that's pretty good. So I'll do my intro a little bit, and then I'll jump right into the explanation for the translation. So which is a new feature for the final the final show. Tears, but it's gonna be amazing though. What's up, everyone? This is the final episode of Tea Time with myself, and we've been doing this all week, and this is the fifth and final episode, but hopefully it will be a very interesting one and a value packed show. So what are we doing today? Today we're trying to make sure that there's that people that require any help to face COVID-19, that they have a platform to ask questions or like reach out for help, and people that are willing to offer help, try to meet them in the middle. So this is not the platform to do that, but it's one of the platforms to do that. So I think that's why we found it very appropriate to make this the final conversation. So because it is the final one, and our friends over at DOCIP, Documentation Center for Indigenous Peoples, they have generously offered to provide interpretation from Spanish into English and English into Spanish, which requires a little bit of attention. So if you look at the comment section, I have put in some instructions. So if you're from Spanish speaking, this is what you're required to do. So basically, there's a Zoom simultaneous to this Facebook Live. There is a Zoom call, which you can go into to listen to me talking and then hear the Spanish translation to it. Vice versa as well. If your Spanish is not as good as and as good as you want it to be, you go to the Zoom, and then you'll be able to hear the English translation. So it's better to have your desktop, your laptop, and then with your phone dial into Zoom. So that's why I have this, in case Hoka and everyone else that wants to speak Spanish, they want to speak Spanish, then I'll have this one, and then hopefully we'll be able to communicate better that way. It's a little bit different, but the intent is to make sure that whatever we say reaches more Indigenous peoples than just the English-speaking Indigenous peoples, because we're Indigenous, and it is very important that we include as much people as possible. We wanted to do French and Russian as well, but because it's so last minute, the only thing that we could do right now is to do Spanish. Hopefully, if we do another show, I don't know, maybe. Definitely going to connect with our friends over at DOCIP, and hopefully they can do their amazing work again. They've been doing interpretation for like years now. And we have Remi from the director of DOCIP. He's in the studio right now, and he'll be able to explain a little bit more about DOCIP's work, and maybe like you have some questions for DOCIP. Speaking of questions, if you have any or comments, drop them in the comment section below, and we will definitely answer them, or give you a shout out, or whatever you want to do. As always, we start with go to the comment section and type in where you're watching from. Send us some love. We're here taking time out of our own day, trying to provide as much value to you. So please send us some love. And let us know where you're watching from. We definitely appreciate that. And hit that subscribe button and like button, and we'll keep you updated. Anyway, that's the whole house rules and everything else. And I just now realized that there are interpreters listening, so I have to slow down a little bit so they can keep up with whatever I am saying. So there was during this session, people will come in and out in terms of offering help and or talking a little bit. But we'll start off with Latin America. Because it is very important that we do not stick to the English-speaking Indigenous peoples, but also to the Spanish-speaking Indigenous people. So Hoka is back. Like she's very on it. Like she loves doing this. So I'll let her introduce herself. Well, I'll let everyone else introduce themselves a little bit, and then of course our friends over TV Indigena, they're also in this conversation. So props up to all Indigenous media for doing all this in these times of COVID-19. Anyway, I've talked way too much. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves to the viewers. Hoka, ladies first.
Ok. Lo voy a hacer en español entonces, ya que hay traductor, es más fácil para mí. Soy Jocabed. Soy del pueblo Conadule, igual que Ini. Y trabajo para Memoria Indígena. Memoria Indígena es una organización que trabaja con comunidades desde y en comunidades. Nuestra pasión es que los relatos, las narrativas, las memorias de nuestro pueblo puedan ser escuchadas, pero puedan ser también narradas y contadas desde las voces de las juventudes indígenas. Y obviamente todo lo que tiene que ver con relatos y narrativa nos permiten a nosotros y a nosotras también reconocer la importancia del cuidado de la tierra, del derecho al territorio, de la incidencia pública en términos de solidaridad y de la sororidad entre las mujeres. Y bueno, aquí estoy para compartir con ustedes este té, que ya me lo tomé, pero bueno, aquí estoy contenta de estar con Gazali, con mi amigo Ini, con mi amigo Gazali en esta tarde o noche para los que están en el otro lado del mundo.
Yeah, so I've been trying this out, and there's a little bit of a lag between the interpretation and when you're speaking. So basically, interpreters like still halfway through what you're saying, but it's okay. Like, thank you so much. All right. This is really interesting. All right. You go ahead, man.
No, please.
Ini, you can go ahead. Please.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Iniquilipi Chiari. But first, it means to do the right thing. So I'm trying hard to do the right things, you know. Well, yeah, I'm as my friend Jocabed said, the man Kuna also from Panama. We are in two territories. The main territories, I mean, two countries. Small side in Colombia, and the most of our people here, we're here in Panama. Yes, and yeah, I'm the founder of Kuna General Youth Congress. Now I'm now the secretary, the current secretary of the Kuna Youth Congress. Well, I'm also, as Ghazali said, uh, I'm trying a little bit also to inform my people on TV Indigena. You can find it up on Facebook. We do live every single night, in Spanish and also in Kuna language. And yeah, that's how we are getting to our people to inform the updates about the news. And for example, we are having a really huge impact with the COVID-19. So we'll go deep after. So nice to meet you, everyone.
So thanks so much. Can you, because Hoka has been doing this, has been explaining a little bit about COVID-19 impacts in Latin America. Um, what is the latest from what you know, Iniqui?
Well, yes. The last time that I've heard about the news is that we are over than 3,500 in all Panama. But I tried to get some numbers from the indigenous territory in Panama, and I found out that we are really impacted actually. And for example, the Kuna Yala territory, we have 29 cases until today, and uh, I don't know. I know that some people they don't know about it. The indigenous territories in Panama, even that we are a small country, but from the main five territories, the Kunas people, we have three territories, and we have cases in each territory. So in general, if we count just in indigenous territory over like in Panama in general, we have 44 cases in indigenous people in Panama,
Hmm.
37 from Kunas people. And the one of the sad news is that most of the Kunas people will live outside of our territory, yeah, in Panama City or the west side and the other provinces. And we are having and how we have a contact with the director of the healthcare from Kuna Yala and from another indigenous territory. We are having more than 150 cases out of our territories. So
Hmm.
even today, actually, I couldn't hear the news of the like midday news, but one of our like the neighbor, entire neighbor, they're of our people, they're having like the 95% cases here in Panama. So this is why one of the things that we have been trying to do, and we have been doing it, is to inform our people what's going on and what we should do if we have cases in our family, what steps to take in that situation.
Okay. I think that if that would be very interesting if you could, yeah, talk a little bit more during this show, because there's a lot of requests for how to handle this situation and what to do. Um, so if you could talk a little bit more about that later on, that would be very helpful. Like I said, there's a lot of people that are willing to offer help, and there's also a lot of Indian people that need help in the situation of COVID-19, and there are individuals, as well as organizations that are offering help. One of them is, like I said before, that they're offering interpretation simultaneously with this in this show. It's a documentation center for Indigenous Peoples, DOCIP. And we have the pleasure right now to have with us the director of DOCIP, Remi. Hey, Remi, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. Yeah, I'm from Geneva, and I'm happy to be with you tonight. It's it's a great initiative to have this opportunity to meet people, even if it's virtually. But I mean, contact is very important, and we couldn't meet in New York or anywhere else, but I mean, we're still together, and it's very important to have this link. And thank you for creating this opportunity, and thank you for having the show.
No, thank you for doing what you're doing. Not just you, but DOCIP as well. My first question is, you being at home right now, like in quarantine, do you drive your family already mad, and kids and wife, or?
Yeah, a bit. I mean, we had to reschedule all the family life, and take care. I have a kid, so we have to take care of him, and obviously, if it's only one person doing this, the person will drive crazy. So sometimes it's my wife, sometimes it's me, but we work on this together, and still trying to keep up with our Indigenous brothers and sisters, and try to help in the way we can, because I mean, as everybody, we are facing the situation, and we're trying to handle it for ourselves, but to keep the capacity to be able to help as well, and to do something that we can make a difference. And with the show tonight, and maybe for future shows, where we will be able to give a hand with interpretation, which is, as you mentioned, something that we've been doing for years. So we're happy already to help on this.
Mm-hmm. Well, just to be clear, that interpretation is not the only thing that DOCIP does, right?
Yeah, you see us mainly during the conferences, so we provide this interpretation and also translation services, which is also something that we can do right now, because we have lots of volunteer translators that can give a hand if you have any kind of document to have translated. This is something that we can do. We also try to provide advice, but one thing is clear, is that we never speak on behalf of Indigenous people. So it's up to you to initiate the work, and we'll try to be instrumental so that you can have your voice heard. We will not speak on behalf of you. And something that we do also is that we have training sessions also from time to time. Last year, it was before MRIP. We had fellows from Papua New Guinea and the Solomon Islands. We also have documented all the Indigenous people representatives' interventions before the UN since 1982, and it has been recognized as part of the memory of the world by UNESCO 3 years ago. We also provide guidance with our Brussels office. We have two colleagues there who are they know all the ways the European institution work, and it can be very useful for Indigenous peoples facing challenges, especially with the European companies in their territories. And also, one of the big things that we do is information. So we have our Facebook. We provide a weekly newsletter. We have an annual publication, which is called The Update, about the news of the year for Indigenous peoples. And after MRIP and UNPFII, we also produce summary notes, which summarizes what's been said during these conferences. And we are also always listening to the requests of our Indigenous brothers and sisters, so that we can, if we can provide something different, something more. I mean, this is also why I'm here tonight, is to ask you what we could do to be useful for you. I mean, we have limited means, but I mean, we have time now, so maybe we can think and we can do something differently or something that we are not doing right now. So I mean, we are all ears, and if it's not tonight, also you can always reach out and come to us and ask for anything. I mean, maybe we'll not be able to provide this, but we can liaise you with someone else that will have the answer, and we can think together. So we're always listening to you and happy to be able to help in any ways.
Oh, thank you so much, Remi. Iniquilipi or Hoka, do you have anything to ask to Remi? Because we have him here right now. Maybe you have a question or a comment for him. If not, that's okay too.
Just to say thank you for your job. Thank you for supporting the Indigenous community, Indigenous people. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for your support as well. I mean, we're living to help you. So I mean, our work has no sense without any support from you. So thank you very much as well. And we've had contacts with people that we were working with right now. We had some small projects, and some of our partners, like in Mexico, they somehow try to adapt their activities to the current situation, and so we try to move our way through the current situation, monitor it, and as I said, I mean, we're happy to receive any suggestion, or I mean, we're here to listen to you and try to find ways to help you or to relate you with the people that can help. So we're happy to do this.
Thanks.
Well, that's very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nad. Actually, like one way or another, maybe if we join efforts, it's gonna be really it's gonna be better, especially for our people, and especially if we know the real situation in different countries and territories, and this how maybe we can find out the best way to help each other.
Yeah. So when there are informations, we're happy to share them on our Facebook page. So I mean, if anybody has information, we will share it on the current situation. And we I think one of the key thing at the moment is sharing information and knowing what's happening everywhere. Because what we've seen is that in some countries there's been issues faced by indigenous peoples on their livelihoods, and also in some countries you have some authorities are using the current situation to have a tighter look at the people, not only indigenous people, but it will affect them as well. So there's some kind of a reducing freedom of speech or of movement for some people. So we are happy to share any kind of situation with the general public, and if you have more specific questions, we can try to help also, and link you with people that will be able to give a concrete help, and if we can do it ourselves.
Thanks, Remi. I have a question for you. I'm sorry, I don't think you meant to stay on for this long, by the way. I have a question for you because so the past couple of days we have had conversations of the impacts of COVID-19 on Indigenous peoples, and like I said, there's a lot of things going around. Is DOCIP? Are you compiling, or are you starting to compile the network the impacts of COVID-19? Because I think that is something that's what I gather from the conversations, not just during tea time, but also like in Zoom conversations, that is not happening yet.
Okay, maybe this is something that we can think about to have something. Yeah, because we receive a lot of information from all our friends all around the world. So this is, I mean, the information is there. So we need a way to compile it. We share it as much as we can, but I mean, we can have a deeper conversation on how we can compile it so it can be more instrumental for you then to do some advocacy at the global level, maybe to so that the indigenous issues are not forgotten, and because everybody is concentrating on the current health situation, which is something, I mean, that has to be dealt with, but it shouldn't be a reason to forget what needs to be done in terms of respecting the rights of indigenous peoples.
Because something that I think that DOCIP can very much help with, and that is something that derives from the conversation before, was like I said, we need as a movement in the International Indigenous Peoples movement, we need to be able to compile like all the impacts of COVID-19 on Indigenous peoples. And what we're trying to do as an outcome of these conversations is to have a checklist for governments and companies and well, particularly governments and states to how to respond to COVID-19 while respecting the rights of Indigenous peoples. So we're doing a checklist, something like that, which also includes positive and problematic impacts of COVID-19. So I think, if DOCIP can assist in any way in that particular idea, I think that would be, of course, amongst all the other things that DOCIP can do, of course, I think that would be, on top of my head, a very good thing to help with.
Okay. Yeah. So this is definitely something that we can look at more closely, and to find a way to do it. It's interesting for you, and can be used by the overall community, and that can be used as an advocacy tool for you, because we receive all this information, but if it's not compiled somewhere, then it will be forgotten, and it's not. Then it loses the effect that it could have if it's been in a way safeguarded. So sure. Okay, we'll think with my team. We'll discuss about it, and we'll come back to you and to have a more detailed conversation on this. Sure.
Appreciate it, Remi. One last question: if people want to reach out to DOCIP, how can you do that? And what's your email?
There's the general email is secretariat@docip.org, but you can find all the contacts of the DOCIP team on our website, docip.org. So even mine, and but the idea is that if it's sent to the general email, it would be anyway dispatched to the appropriate people. So. And also we have our Facebook page, so you can contact my colleague Pascal, who's dealing with the Facebook page, and he will of course share the information, and you can reach out this way as well.
How long has Pascal been with DOCIP, by the way?
You should ask him. It's more than 20 years, so. He knows, and he will handle the information appropriately, and share it so that we can find a way to help you.
All right. Appreciate it, Remi. Appreciate your time, and I know it's very late over there in Geneva. Go back to your kids and wife, and stay safe and healthy.
Yeah, stay safe too. Thank you for having me, and good luck, and see you soon.
See you soon, hopefully.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, so that is at least one of the organizations that Indigenous people work a lot with Indigenous people that are offering their help. So are there any organizations in Latin America that are helping out Indigenous peoples, or not just in organizations from Latin America, but also from North America, maybe? I think, sorry, that's a question.
Well, as an organization like that, I don't know. Actually, like personally, I do work is strike with the leaders with the Kunas Congress. So they have a few organizations that they work with, and yeah, but actually like that, I don't know that much about the international organization helping that way. But maybe Hoka, she has been working with different organizations.
Bueno, para que los que hablan español escuchen.
Sí.
No, tampoco. Por ahora no he escuchado alguna organización que trabajen como ellos, pero siempre hay organizaciones que ayudan de otras formas y de otras maneras. Hay muchas, como bien dices, con el Congreso General Kuna, hay otras que colaboran en organizaciones más pequeñas, más locales, pero es bueno tener estos recursos, que lo compartamos para que los hermanos y las hermanas alrededor del mundo puedan tener estos recursos y herramientas a la mano, saber que hay gente que quiere apoyar, ¿no? Hace largo.
Oh, thank you. I think why there's a delay is because the interpreters are on Zoom, and I'm not using Zoom. I'm using a different platform. So that's why it's a little bit delayed. But I do get, like, they're amazing though. Like the interpreters, like they do very well. So thank you.
Interpretation.
Yeah, and I yeah. So
Actually,
oh.
that's but sadly I missed that to make the question to our friend that he just left. It's about if we have any base or do we get all the data about the indigenous people, and like how many cases do we have, because I think we have a different like WhatsApp group, uh, and maybe we're having few information from South America and Central and North America, but I don't know where would I go to upload the information from Panama, and because I've seen few like publishing and like on the internet about talking, yeah, that indigenous people they have that cases, that many cases. But I think if I see my reality here in Panama, in indigenous territory, we have 44 cases, and they're talking about the Latin American, about Abya Yala, they're talking about 20 cases, and so I don't know if there is any web or any organization that they are getting all that information from each country.
Claro, además que, por ejemplo, los cunas que vivimos en la ciudad, cuando son registrados por la cédula, si naciste en la ciudad y eres 8, no te das cuenta si es un cuna. Y eso a nivel de Aviala, como no solamente que las muertes o los casos de las personas sean números, sino realmente sean personas, ¿no? Para trabajar no con cifras, sino realmente entender que es un tema de la humanización. Y yo creo que es importante lo que mencionas, Ini, en relación a que necesitamos tener una vía de reconocimiento donde cuáles son los casos de hermanos y hermanas indígenas en Aviala, en Latinoamérica.
All right. So I'm trying to listen, but also trying to not wait too long with responding. If you're okay with it, Jocabed and Iniquilipi, there's some questions actually coming in. If you would like to answer them as well, you don't have to necessarily you can talk about the question. By the way, I think Iniquilipi, you already talked about this a little bit. Lindell von Schill, she asked, am I understanding correctly that there is no central place keeping track of the impact of COVID-19 on Indigenous peoples? So is that already happening in Latin America, by the way, or is it happening nowhere, or in Kuna land, or well, probably in Kuna land, but in Panama or Latin America?
Well, I don't have any like seriously where to go to find that information. I mean, right now, yeah. Even in Panama, as I said, that very small. I don't have that information that where to track the impact of the indigenous people in our country. But as the TV Indigenous, we made live every night from different people. We realize that we are having a lack of supplies in our territories. So, who would be the right person who could go like after that lack of supplies? And then we realize our reality that also of the infrastructure, the lack of infrastructure in different territories. So if I can say there is no central place to keep on track of the impact right now, because we have a national coordinator, but even also they have the office closed because the current situation in Panama, and we are like all locked down everything. So and that's why even me, I've been trying to get to know, to see how we can help our people. uh, for example, I can make like quick comment that our group TV Indigenous and my other friends, we have been trying also to make an campaign on GoFundMe, because as I said, there are more Kunas people living outside of the territory, and the government is trying to help, but it's not enough. Yeah, and we need to bring some help to a lot of families here, and our leaders, they know the reality. So, but they are been trying help first people in our territory. So yeah, and the GoFundMe, they didn't allow us like to make a campaign from Panama because we don't have an office here. There's a certain like countries that they you can do it from your country, but
Oh.
Panama is one of those countries. So it has been quite complicated to make that campaign on Facebook and GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm. So you should, do I understand correctly? You now have a GoFundMe campaign.
Not yet.
Not yet, right? So you need someone to be able to set that up. Okay.
Correct. But
Yeah.
now like some people, they're working like with context. WhatsApp, it has been helpful. Uh, few people, they have been really nice, kind. So that the things that we are doing is to share a bit of that we have with different people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Es more local, perdón, es más local, es más, es lo que se está haciendo como de amigos, de familias, de conocidos, pero sí creo que es necesario que unamos esfuerzos entre los hermanos y hermanas cunas para que sea algo mucho más, pueda alcanzar más para más personas, porque hay muchos hermanos y hermanas nuestros que estamos apoyando, pero si lo hacemos en conjunto creo que va a ser más factible. Gazali, hay un tema que, no sé, creo que no ha llegado a esa parte todavía.
Okay. Okay, that's oh shoot. So was that wasn't a question for me, right? That was
Yeah, I want to
okay.
to ask a question for you.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I know this translation. And then my Spanish sometimes very fast. I forgot. I need to speak slowly.
Well, yeah.
Quería hacer como también algunos comentarios en relación a un panorama amplio en relación a la cosmovisión de las comunidades indígenas, nuestros aportes pero también cuáles son los desafíos que tenemos, que Ini ha mencionado. Creo que es necesario como plantear algunas de estas preguntas. Para las comunidades indígenas, la vida es sagrada y la tierra es sagrada. Por lo tanto, las preguntas se plantean, ¿esto le hace bien a la tierra, a la madre tierra? ¿Le hace bien al cosmos? ¿Esto le hace bien a la comunidad? ¿Esto le hace bien a la vida? Porque toda relación es de interdependencia. Entonces pienso que más allá de la pandemia que vivimos hoy y que afecta a nuestras comunidades indígenas, tenemos que también preguntarnos sobre las narrativas que manejamos a partir de la crisis, pero a partir de la vida diaria. Entonces, hay narrativas que forman y narrativas que deforman. Y nuestras comunidades indígenas en Abya Yala han sido sustentadas por narrativas que nos han formado. Y la crisis de la pandemia también a veces homogeniza las realidades de nuestros pueblos de tal manera que se esconde detrás de la crisis las narrativas. En otras palabras, yo creo que sí necesitamos volver a escuchar los cantos de nuestros pueblos ancestrales. A partir de esos cantos, preguntarnos cómo nuestros pueblos han superado la crisis. Las acciones o la praxis va a ser distinta porque estamos en otro momento. Sin embargo, el elemento central del cosmo sentir va a ser el mismo. Entonces, porque la narrativa hegemónica lo que está tratando de hacer muchas veces a partir de los sistemas de patriarcado, de capitalismo, sistemas neoliberalistas, ha suprimido mucho las realidades de nuestros pueblos cuando hay mucho que podemos aprender desde nuestras propias narrativas para enfrentar esta crisis. Entonces, para quizás terminar, para que ustedes hablen, decir también que como en Kuna Yala, nuestros abuelos empezaron a cantar con las plantas medicinales, se hicieron rituales, cómo no solamente afecta lo físico, sino también lo espiritual. Y nuestras propias narrativas que reconocemos nos permiten que nuestro espíritu no se quede dormido, sino que esté despierto. Por lo tanto, no solamente es una acción que podemos hacer a partir de cosas concretas que son necesarias, pero también cosas que permiten que el espíritu cuna, que el espíritu indígena pueda reconocer de que tenemos a un creador o nuestro pueblo le llaman Nana y Baba, otros pueblos tienen otros nombres, el corazón del cielo y de la tierra. Nos permite enfocarnos también para reconocer que parte de nuestras luchas y parte de nuestra resistencia también se tornó a partir de nuestra espiritualidad. Y eso me parece que es muy importante porque la espiritualidad nos permite también agarrarnos y nos permite también fortalecernos a la hora de poder enfrentar la crisis. Entonces creo que en este contexto también deberíamos como hablar un poco más de cómo profundizamos, ¿no? Perdón que es muy largo y la traducción va a ser más larga, lo hubiera dicho en inglés, quizás se hacía más corta.
No, thank you for explaining all that, like the whole narratives. What we need to also think about. Okay, so it is yeah, very unnatural to me. What's happening right now? I'm sorry about that. My question was maybe I'm jumping from different things from one to like monkeys going from tree branch to tree branch. But there was something that Iniquilipi was talking about, like how to handle this COVID-19 situation if you're in rural areas, so not necessarily in urban areas, but in when you're in the village, right? What advice do you give to your Indigenous peoples in Panama to handle the situation?
But that would be like two advices also from like the territory and out of the territory. Is that first of all, one, two things also. One, follow the suggestion from the health ministry, that the news and everything, because uh, two, actually, like I would like to explain a bit about how we decided like to do few things
Sure.
the Panamanian government. They used to they before they start about the quarantine, we started before them, like way before. But even like that, we got the hit by the COVID. Even our small, the tiny islands, we locked down everything before, way before of the government. And actually, we are having cases in just like a specific community, and we can say almost six communities, but we could manage four communities that didn't go like going to another people, no, in the infection. That we have focusing on like on two communities. So the best advice that I can like to say to my people is, please, it's complicated to explain because I don't know the reality of the other people.
Mm.
You know, Casali, I don't know if you have been in Kuna Yala uh, once. I've been
Yeah,
in a community, right?
yeah, and Ustupu. I went to
Oh,
Ustupu.
wow, this is my community. I was born there. I grew up there. Yeah, so you know how we live on a small island.
Hmm.
We have a family everywhere next to each other. So to like, it's complicated to make, I don't know, to follow few like the government rules. I mean, so with local government, our authorities, we have been trying a lot. So the best thing, if I can say, stay at your home. It's not quite complicated because the family needs to go like to the farm, needs to go like fishing, and it has been crazy.
Mm.
Yeah, and even that we have our leaders there, the the statistics says that the most people impacted in Kuna Yala, it's between 20 to 39. The young people, they're moving also in the community, going to visit the friends, maybe girlfriends, even that person. For example, yesterday the doctor was saying that uh, they said to some people, okay, if you got a contact with a positive case, please stay at your home for 14 days. The next day, that contact, it was around of the community walking, doing different things. So it's kind of that they are, we are really worried in that situation. Yeah, but even that, they need to go out to have like to farm to do fishing. That's how I was saying. So, and the Kunas people outside of the country of the territory, uh, it's different things because the quarantine in Panama is that the men can go out on Tuesday and Thursday,
Mm.
and the women Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. During the weekend, the Saturday and Sunday is really full lockdown. No one can go out. So in our territory, it's quite complicated to work because even then we know that each community, as you know, has a own rule. Yeah, and totally different from another. So
Mhm.
that's kind of like situation that we are having in one of our communities there.
Right. And so people understand, right? So if you want to go to Kuna Yala, let's go with what was my experience was you fly out for Panama City. I took you can go by boat to Kuna Yala or to Estupu or by airplane, and I went to with that small small airplane to like nearby island, which is like the airport, and then you go by boat to Ustupu, and you see that it is a community that lives very close next to each other. It's a very warm community. It's I've been one of the warmest, not only in temperature but also in like in kindness.
Thank you.
No, I definitely need to highlight that, because even though it was many years before, many years ago when I went to Kuna Yala, it was still one of the best memories I have had in terms of traveling abroad to other Indian communities. So, and what I heard was that when you do have a lockdown, like you just said, is that how do you I wouldn't say maintain the lockdown? Like, do men volunteer to check on the streets, or how does that go in Kuna Yala?
It was in two ways. One, in generally the territory that our Saila Dumagan, our chief, they decided to lock down from 17th of March. Yeah. And the other one, it's what is happening inside in the territory. If some people that they don't know how is Kuna Yala, as Gasali was saying, we live on a small island, so from like 49 communities uh, and 42 inhabited island. So we have like 360 something or more than 360. We haven't got our last census, and so the communities, like few communities, they decided to make their own activities. So like some people, it's at their home, and one of the island, for example Ustupu, we share an island with another community. So there is two communities on one island, and so the thing is, the people from another community, they can come to Stupu, and either the other way, the people from Stupu, they can go to another community. And yeah, and the men, they are like we are being organized that we need to do the watchman. I can say the are like for like just one between the borders to check that no one can trespass the border, and the other one in the community around, walking the street, checking if people are following the rules of the community. And by the way, Mr. Ronel Masardule now is in charge in Stupu.
Oh, I saw it. Yeah.
That's good.
What I was asking.
That's good. Maybe you can make one of that a live activity, because Stupu now have really a nice internet connection,
Really?
because we can make a video calls and everything. So that's how we have been working until now. No, but thanks God, the life, we don't have any cases in Stupu. But the Ailigandi is like maybe 1 hour from Stupu. There is the most cases are right now with almost 19, 20, more or less, in that community.
Right. Okay. Well, it's a positive thing during a negative, in a problematic situation, that the entire community is making sure that everyone is safe, and that people from the likes of Senor Onel Matadule, do all the making sure that everyone is protected. So definitely something that it's something that you don't see a lot, at least in what we hear. Of course, all around the world, it's not happening a lot out there. Do people in Kuna Yala or in Latin America, or at least now let's focus on Kuna Yala, do they know what's happening outside in terms of indigenous peoples outside of Panama? Do you know, or can you say something about it?
Well, no, please, Hoka, maybe she can answer, and then I will help a bit.
Perdón, algunas de nuestras hermanos y hermanas, claro que conocen las realidades muchos jóvenes que tienen celulares con internet y pueden mirar a partir de los medios sociales lo que está sucediendo fuera del territorio Kuna. Probablemente algunas abuelas o abuelos conocen, pero no necesariamente la situación de forma específica. Como es algo a nivel mundial, las comunidades cunas con el liderazgo de las casas de Congreso General, CUNA, los secretarios han dado anuncios en sus comunidades. Y yo creo que algo necesario que está hablando Ini, que es importante, es cómo fortalecemos el trabajo de los líderes de la comunidad con los no solamente de la salud pública, sino también de la salud comunitaria. Nuestros ancestros, cuando llaman a la casa de Congreso, el Xalibet grita, perdón, el que llama, no el Xalibet, el que llama y convoca a la reunión, hace una vuelta en la comunidad y va diciendo que hay una reunión donde invita a la gente a escuchar el canto, o para otras reuniones. Habría que buscar alternativas que son más nuestras. El tema es que como a nivel mundial no estábamos preparados para una pandemia. ¿Quién se prepara para una pandemia, no? Pero creo que en políticas de organización sí se hace necesario tener planes específicos para las comunidades, que la misma comunidad hagan planes específicos desde la identidad de nuestro pueblo. Porque hay tanto para mí que podemos optimizar de nuestras formas de organizaciones muy particulares para prevenir y para momentos ya cuando está un caso como este de la crisis. Por otro lado, cuando leemos un poco las realidades en la región de Abya Yala de Latinoamérica, hay comunidades que son vulnerables y no son vulnerables porque son vulnerables por la situación del Estado o del gobierno dentro del contexto donde viven, que se han desplazado por territorio, por los monocultivos, por la deforestación. Y estas realidades no nos permiten también, yo creo que un tema que es necesario reconocer como parte del caminar es cómo podemos seguir fortaleciendo la soberanía alimentaria, que uno de los elementos importantes que por hecho hoy se celebra el Día Internacional de la Lucha Indígena y Campesina, cómo nuestro pueblo Kuna, por ejemplo, ha sido solidario en algunos pueblos en compartir el plátano, la yuca, el pescado con otras comunidades. Ahora, yo creo que lo trabajamos en los protocolos y eso yo creo que debería trabajarlo. Yo sé que los médicos no se dan abasto porque la realidad en Kuna Yala y en muchas comunidades indígenas es que el personal médico es escaso. Hay pueblos que solamente tienen un médico. Por ejemplo, mi hermana es médico y ella estuvo en Armila. En Armila, el día que ella estuvo atendiendo a un chico que tenía COVID y que está acá en la ciudad de Panamá, ahora tuvo ese mismo día que atender a una persona que daba luz, o sea, una persona que está embarazada. Entonces atiendes a alguien que tiene que dar a luz, atiendes al que tiene COVID, atiendes al que está enfermo por casos generales. Por eso yo creo que es un llamado también cómo fortalecemos el tema también con los curanderos, con nuestros propios médicos, los Inadurgan Kunas, y trabajamos algún plan intercultural entre la medicina Kuna y la medicina occidental con nuestras y nuestros hermanos. O sea, quizá amplíe un poco más la respuesta, pero yo creo que son acciones concretas que se puede hacer y bueno, parte de los que estamos acá y que somos jóvenes quizá y está metido, pero yo como alguien que quiere colaborar con algo local, con las juventudes, creo que uno puede, a partir de propuestas, de poder entender cómo podemos también aprender en el tema de soberanía alimentaria. Algunas comunidades ya lo están haciendo de años, pero hay otras que en este tiempo nos hemos dado cuenta que es necesario, y aún los que vivimos en la ciudad, como tenemos nuestra parcela detrás de la casa, ¿no?
No, thank you for explaining that, Jocabed. Iniquilipi, you wanted to say something as well?
No, Oh no, just a little bit. Yeah, as I was telling that now in almost all Kuna Yala, people have a really nice internet connection, uh, so they know about the news. But the question was if they know about what's going on with our relatives in another countries. There is that we don't have it. That,
Mhm.
for example, it's easy. I can say, let me like go on Facebook. Let me go on www a webpage that to see what's going on in Brazil, what's going on in Canada,
Mm,
and so there is we don't have that like just one page like that I can we can get information update. So we know all what's going on around the world, but not specifically with our relatives. I
Mhm.
don't know what's going on in Costa Rica. It's a neighbor country, but
mm,
I know about my friends working with the traditional, like with the traditional knowledge. They're working as a relatives different indigenous people in Costa Rica, patrolling the borders, making ceremonies. I know that there's two groups, different groups, but they're like they come agree to make just like one ceremony together,
Mhm.
same ceremony. That's kind of things that we don't know. There is no page, even on Facebook, like I could go. For example, I know because of my friends what's going on in Ecuador. Uh, the flood, the COVID, the the petrol in the river, and yeah. But for other people, I don't know where would uh, I would like refer
mm,
what page, what networking, like a social network.
Mhm.
So that's the lack. I think it's a reality. It's okay that things happening, but we are seeing that we need few things also. So Gasali, maybe we have a really a job to do to make one.
Definitely. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, and then we can contact all our brothers from each country that we can upload all the information.
Yeah.
Bueno,
There's a question that came in for you. I don't know if they have something like that in Panama. So the question is anyone working on connecting social media pages that are focused on what this is called a mutual aid? So like people that ask for help and people that are offering help. Is something about that happening in Abya or in Panama that you know about?
sí, hay apps, pero no necesariamente específicamente para las comunidades indígenas en diferentes espacios. En Panamá hay apps que están donde uno puede entrar y mirar qué familia necesita ayuda. Si yo quiero ayudar, yo puedo ser una de las que ayude, o si yo necesito ayuda, yo coloco mi necesidad. En otros lados, como por ejemplo Hermanos de Chile, lo que han hecho es que han trabajado en apps para saber cuáles son los productores, los agricultores que están trabajando y tienen frutas y vegetales orgánicos. Y la gente puede mirar en el app y decir, en tal lugar, en tal comunidad puedo ir. Pero no es un asunto muy general, son como casos específicos. Eh, creo que es algo que deberíamos fortalecer, como dice Ini, no solamente el tema de dónde están y cuáles son los casos, sino cómo les ayudamos y qué tenemos también, porque también el tema es qué recurso uno tiene, que puede también colaborar, ya sea que uno pueda hacer a la persona cercana. Por ejemplo, hay una necesidad nuestra y es que muchos de nuestros hermanos y hermanas cunas, y no solamente cunas, sino indígenas, son artistas, artesanos. Y hoy día, por todo el tema actual, muchos han quedado sin tener el recurso económico para suplir sus necesidades. Pero si hubiera un espacio como INI plantea, uno también pudiera pensar que tal persona a lo mejor es una una cocedora de mola y uno quisiera comprarle. Entonces uno lo puede tener ahora, pero uno paga y después cuando uno puede tenerlo, lo va a tener adelante, pero es una forma de ayudarnos. Creo que se necesita saber estas cosas y bueno, yo no sé mucho de web, así que no sé si es demasiado, pero creo que no, son alternativas que nos permiten colaboración.
No, it's definitely something that you see, and this is a little bit what I think is that, like, we as Indigenous peoples, not just peoples in general, but Indigenous peoples, like, we've been shocked as in, like, about this whole COVID-19 pandemic, and like we're barely over the shock, and now we are trying to find ways to be able to connect what we need with what people are offering. So I think that it is now slowly developing, and I've seen something that has been developed in New Zealand, not just for the Maori people, but like for New Zealand in general. I forgot about the name, but it is like a website where people can put in like what they need, and or people that can provide advice, expert advice. It was mostly business related though. If you have a small business and you're about to lose money in business, of course, then you can find support on this website. But that's just business related. But I think when it comes to Indigenous peoples, like, we have more basic concerns, of course, like is about food and shelter and all these other things. And there was something that has been said by my guests and friends over the past couple of days, is that it is, and I very much support that, is that it is up to the Indigenous peoples that are living in first world countries to now step up and assist those that are living in least developed countries, or like not living in first world countries. Right now, it is very important that as a movement, as Indigenous peoples, as large, as a global community, that we all step up and help one another. And I think Iniquilipi, I think you're 100% right that it is that we have a lot of work to do in terms of not only trying to create some platform or website to connect so that we know that the impacts of COVID-19 in Kuna Yala and in Navajo Nation, the Maori people, the Sami people, that we know where things are right now, and also that there's sorry, it almost sounds like a conclusion, but it is not a conclusion. Also very important that that we also set up some kind of a platform that, like, maybe globally about what we need and what Indigenous peoples need and what other people can offer. I think that should have been done already, actually, in my view. I'm surprised that it hasn't happened before. Is that, and maybe I'm getting a little bit too political, is that something when I hear stuff like that, I think about colonization. Is that still something that we have to keep in mind, or is it just fate, as in is it just how things went, or is it actually a political thing that we have to think about, that why Indigenous peoples are still suffering in this pandemic?
Well, yes, actually, like last night we had a live with a lawyer. So, for example, there is a new laws, that emergency laws that the country and the politics they have been making. I mean, and the point is, and he was telling, like, all that, like, new laws, like, none is related to indigenous people. None of the of like there are like almost like 8. So it's all for people in the cities and for to keep the works, like the legal works and everything, um, all about the banks, that kind of stuff. But none is related. They're really how to help indigenous people. Yeah. So, and for example, and those days also talking with one of the doctors, and she was telling that about the supplies. They said in Kuna Yala we don't have enough supplies. All is going to another places, and also we need supplies. So if we without the COVID-19 we have situation, imagine the needs that we have right now, and even more that we are in like on a development country, as you were telling. So there is a lot of things to do with the political thing. Sadly, yes. That's maybe that's why we need to show to the governments. Look, you were talking about indigenous people. Most of the countries they go out to the like big events for like few monies on our name, but if still we don't have enough like doctors, not enough supplies, not like good infrastructure. For example, this month, this last month, the government they were being hiring new doctors, new nurses, and I asked to the doctor if we got any like at least one doctor or nurses. We haven't got any, zero. So that's thing like political things that we can see that is going on also this time.
Sí. Y cuando alguien se enferma gravemente y necesita ser trasladado a la ciudad, si no tienen los helicópteros habilitados, la persona está en crisis y lo más probable es que lamentablemente muera. Cuando pudo haber vivido, y más que una cuestión, es una cuestión de dónde están las prioridades, y si tiene que ver con todo el tema de colonización, como bien menciona Casali, de las colonialidades. Por otro lado, por ejemplo, Armila, no hay un lugar específico. Cuando el chico se enfermó, tenía que estar en una cama que no era, y en un espacio que no era adecuado para él. Y bueno, por ahora se ha controlado y fue el caso que estaba y no hay otro caso, pero el tema es cuando los procesos de institucionales, políticos, se nota mucho el tema de poder y aún de un sistema que obviamente, pues lo que pasa con el COVID es que nos muestra lo que ya sabemos. Es una muestra de lo que está pasando por años, pero que probablemente no se menciona tanto porque hay gente que ha muerto así, no solamente por COVID, sino por otras enfermedades, por no haber tenido los recursos, los suplementos, la infraestructura. Y yo creo que sí es un llamado también para poder, cuando empezó todo el tema de la pandemia, como bien decíamos, las explicaciones sobre el tema del COVID nunca fueron en la lengua de nuestros pueblos. Las iniciativas fueron de nuestros propios hermanos y hermanas, que es bueno que lo hagamos, pero un estado donde no reconoce que la única lengua que hablamos en el país no es el castellano, sino que hay otras lenguas, habla mucho del sistema de colonialismo que existe en nuestro país y en los países de Navia Yala. Que a lo mejor la gente no lo entiende muchas veces, por eso hay que, para mí, descolonizar las narrativas, porque solamente cuando reconocemos nuestras propias narrativas podemos luchar y pelear. como lo hicieron nuestros abuelos y abuelas, ¿no? Y lo han hecho por siglos.
Yes, thank you. And I think it is something that that was been mentioned in conversations before, is that Indigenous peoples are getting. I don't know how you translate this into like English, but like it's like deja vu. Like we're seeing this happening again, where diseases are brought into Indigenous peoples' communities, and which have well, we've seen it happen in New Zealand. We have seen it happen in North America, where they bring in diseases and pretty much wipe out like entire populations. And I think, and there's this concern out there that, and you already said it before, that this can be used as a excuse, this whole COVID-19, to really press upon Indigenous peoples, Indigenous movements, and in some cases, and I'm very much looking at, for example, in Brazil, our relations in Brazil, that it can go from lockdown to genocide, and then that is what we are very afraid of, that they're using this particular pandemic to really crack down on Indigenous peoples and making and really with the potential of wiping out entire populations. So is there and a lot of countries, states are talking about, or they haven't talked about it, but they're starting to talk about like exit strategy, as in what do we do like once COVID-19 is over? So how do we go back to quote unquote normal? And the problem is that normal was the problem already. What Bielska from the Sami already said, and so and there's a concern that this will the laws that they are going to impose, or that to fight COVID-19, that they will keep it as long as possible, even when COVID-19 is not even a danger anymore. So they want trying to keep it as long as possible, so that they can control or police or create more pressure on peoples, including Indigenous peoples. At least that is a concern. Is that concern has also been voiced in your communities, or maybe differently, or is it your concern? Maybe, I don't know.
Sorry, I didn't get it, the questions, because we had a bit of situation.
Oh, sorry. No, that's okay. So my question was, in your, for example, in your conversations with TV Indigena, are people talking about after COVID-19, like what they fear, what will happen in terms of the laws that they are creating now? Are there any concerns that have been voiced, and something that we, as maybe there's something in there that we as the global these peoples have not thought about yet?
Actually, that's right. It's a good question, because during our conversation or our life, we haven't got there yet, asking like what would be after, what's gonna be after. But yeah, just talking about the future, the best. I would like to take the best part of everything, in my territory, as Hoka was telling a bit. It's about, we realize that it's time to get back to the land, to work with the modern nature, uh, and because we realize we don't need to be like depending on people outside of the territories to bring food, the needs, so we can have it in our territory. That's the positive thing that I can say, that if I'm going to talk in the future, is this gonna be like the right way? And that's could be like the best part, because as Hoka said, that there is like few communities that they have been like sharing the fruits, plantains, a lot of things to another community that they need. This also you said that we indigenous people we really take care of each other, and this is the best thing. And at this time, it's showing us that more about that. That is how our like elders they used to do it. So and we misstep that side right now, but now we're taking back. And the future, talking about the future, that would be like the best part of everything. What's going on? That now a lot of communities, like before they were focused on tourism, now they're working hard on agriculture in our daily life. And that's the best part. But I think in Indigena, we will be talking like maybe in few weeks about what's next. Until
Yeah.
now,
So what are you talking about now then in at TV Indigena, if I may ask?
well, it's about what's going on right now. For
Mm.
example, we had a live with the cacique from Embera, so to know what's going on there, what are they doing right now, how and how they are doing it, if they are having a help from the government or one way or another. So we gotta from Nove Bookless people also to know how it's doing there, how our relatives doing there. So the people they can know what's going on in our country. So if I had another people from another countries that they would like to talk about their territory, what's going on, how they're working, how they're handling the situation. That would be great because to be indigenous for all the people, our relatives, that we can know the real situation in different territories. So that's what we have been doing right now. It's talking about the reality in different territories, and also with the doctors to get to know the steps at home that we need to take if one of our like family it's like COVID positive, or what we like to do at home, uh, yeah, to help him. That's kind of thing we have been talking, and all the laws also, how our relatives that they are now at home, they don't know what's going on after, if they still are gonna keep the job or not, if he's fired, if there is any law to help him at this time of the pandemic time, if there is a new law that maybe is going to protect them. So that's one of the things that we have been doing those days on TV Indigena. So today we have been talking, just talking about what we are having today with one of my friends about the midday news that there was like in Panama City, that where like Kuna's people are living, they like almost locked down because the 90 or 95% of the cases is from that neighbor on that side. So how that would be bad like impact on our society, thinking about, okay, the Kunas people maybe have a COVID, so avoid us, and that kind of situation. No, that's what we have been talking today on television.
Great. And you do this conversation every day?
Yes, every day at 7, Alpha 7. So I would, so as you know, we are not expert on. We haven't got any classes or nothing. So we are inviting people who knows about the topic. So we just a current person just asking the different questions that also people from the Facebook writing us and greeting us, and also they make some comments, some questions, and so the panelist is answering.
Right. Yeah. So now I think this is your moment to promote TV Indigena. So go for it. Like what time? What you going to talk about?
Yeah, TV Indigena. Yes, I don't know if you know Olo. That is, yeah, and so actually, well, like him and me, we started the TV Indigena just to show our culture, and also not just like me as Kuna, sino me as indigenous, and all the people to show their culture, events, ceremonies, a lot of things from different people also. But people, not indigenous people, they can see what we have, the rich that we are in our culture.
Hmm.
People working and daily life, small videos. Now we are making like a challenge about mola. I don't know if you have been seeing. It's like don't rush challenge, but we made it like with mola. So
Yeah.
there a lot of videos going on. Some went viral with like more than almost 1/4 of a million of views and that kind of thing. So this the platform is to show to people the good that we have indigenous people, our tradition, our acknowledge, traditional acknowledge. So yeah, so you can look for us at TV Indigena on Facebook. And yesterday, at least we got our webpage. We didn't have webpage, so it's
Okay.
tvindigena.org. So just started yesterday, so we don't have anything yet there published. Maybe Hoka is gonna be like uploading her writings and everything. So also, Gasali, you're welcome if you like to write something. So there is a webpage. So every day we do a live, also like this at 7 at past 7. So at Panama time, I don't know what time is. Yeah, so um, so that's what we have been doing. Inform people, also updating about some news nationally and internationally. So this is for us. So if you would like to say something, if you would like to be live with us, you're welcome. Also, people that your followers, I've seen that they're like from relative from different countries that they would like to say something. They are welcome. Please join us. And this is for us. It's made for you, for everyone. So thank you very much.
Wow. Wow. This is so much better than tea time. This is actually a TV, indigenous TV, and that's something that like a lot of us have been dreaming about. Something that is actually that I think whenever if you want to do something like TV, like indigenous TV, this is the time. That's what I think. And everyone is home. Nobody's at work. Everyone is in lockdown in quarantine, so that is very good. And I from what I gathered, like I've been whenever you go online, it pops up on my phone and on my computer, and I follow it, and it's such a very rich conversation that you're having with 3 to 4 people. That makes me like very jealous of like the amount of content that you're putting out there. So it is 100% amazing. Lindell already put in the link in the comments. So once you started,
Wow, thank you very much.
you looked it up. So definitely people like subscribe, hit that subscribe button at TV Indigena, and yeah, support them all the way. This is not the end of this conversation, by the way, but I'm very excited that this is actually happening. And I'm also like, I think I'm sorry to say this, but I'm very excited because it is not led by English speaking indigenous peoples. It's led by non-English indigenous people speaking, not indigenous people that are non-English. Yeah, which makes it like from the global south. So I think that is very encouraging, at least to me, because like yeah, like it shouldn't be always not that. Yeah, how should I frame this? Now I'm just like, encouraged. Like I'm so happy that this is happening and that you're organizing this and that you're setting this up. And definitely, I would love to contribute in some way in with TV Indigena in whatever you want. I even I can't dance, I can't sing, so I can only sorry.
You can drink tea.
Yeah, you need to.
Drink tea.
I can only drink tea on. I think I'll do that in the background.
Yeah.
Hoka, there's something that you said that really was very interesting to me, and I would love for you to. You already explained it a lot about that, but I'd love for you to unpack it a little bit if you can. And it's talk about going back to the land, because it's a lot of Indigenous peoples are talking about it, but it is difficult to really see that. Like how do you do that? Like the practical side of it. And because you talk about it at length today and the last couple of days as well, could you explain a little bit more about that? So like give people advice on what to think of. Like you don't have to give them instructions, of course. But yeah, like how do you do it? How do you see it? I think that will be very interesting to a lot of Indigenous peoples all around the world.
Thank you for the question. Gracias por la pregunta. He estado investigando, escuchando, más que nada escuchando los relatos ancestrales del pueblo Kuna, de mi pueblo Kuna, pero también de otros pueblos indígenas en el mundo. Y algo que nos une y que ya sabemos que nos ha unido es nuestra relación con la tierra. Parte de los relatos colonialistas nos han alienado de la tierra y nos han hecho pensar que lo material en términos económicos como el dinero es mucho más importante que la tierra y por eso todo el sistema de explotación hacia la madre tierra. Cuando hablamos de regresar a la tierra, lo que estamos intentando decir es necesitamos una espiritualidad que profundice nuestra relación con la tierra. Y esa espiritualidad no solamente es abstracta, porque las comunidades indígenas ancestralmente vivieron la narrativa de la vida de forma muy concreta. Y de forma concreta cuando para los Kunas la primera ceremonia que nos hacen de bebé es la ceremonia del primer árbol. Y es una ceremonia muy fuerte y poderosa, que es una ceremonia que hacen muchos pueblos indígenas, pero lo que nos están cultivando es que las relaciones son importantes. La relación con la tierra, la relación con la comunidad, la relación con la mamá, la relación con las ancestras. Ceremonias como estas que uno pudiera profundizar más, nos hablan de regresar a la tierra significa nos faltan algunos, y me meto allí porque soy una cuna citadina, aunque soy cuna, pero nos falta afinar el oído para escuchar la voz de la madre. Y escuchar la voz de la madre significa reconocer también las propiedades, las virtudes que tiene la madre para sanar nuestro cuerpo. Sanarnos físicamente, pero también sanarnos espiritualmente. Y el mayor quiebre que podemos ver en los sistemas económicos es una enfermedad que nos consume del corazón por el querer consumir y apropiarnos de todo sin reconocer de que nada es nuestro, que todo le pertenece a la tierra, pero también le pertenece, dependiendo de nuestro credo, a los que creemos en el creador, que le pertenece al creador o la creadora. Por eso, en resumen, yo creo que necesitamos seguir, por eso, investigando, escuchando. En Kuna se dice Anet y Tosi, sintiendo la casa, sintiendo la tierra. Para ¿qué significa tener esa capacidad de poder sentir a la madre tierra? Yo creo que eso es para mí una filosofía y una ética muy grande que si nosotros lo entendemos, las narrativas cambian. Y para los que vivimos en las ciudades como jóvenes indígenas en las ciudades, ¿cómo volvemos a eso para reconocer lo que hay de herencia? Que me parece que es un gran tesoro que tienen las comunidades indígenas a nivel global, pero también reconocer que no hay que homogeneizar, que también hay una especificidad de cada pueblo, que tiene el pueblo Kuna, que no tiene otro pueblo, pero que tiene este pueblo que puede compartir con el otro pueblo y viceversa, en este sentido de reconocimiento de la tierra. Bueno, allí hay mucho que decir, pero más o menos por ahí va la cosa, y eso nos plantearía respuestas que tienen que ver con lo que Ini habló: soberanía alimentaria, de la solidaridad, de la sororidad, del reconocimiento de plataformas que ya tienen cuestiones más tecnológicas, pero esto tiene una base fundamental y son los relatos de nuestros pueblos. Por eso yo creo que nuestros abuelos insistían que escucháramos los cantos y los cantos y los cantos. Me parece que ahí hay un gran regalo que no podemos dejarlo a un lado, sino que abrazarlo porque es el regalo que nos han dado. Y el que quiere ese regalo lo busca lo atesora, lo guarda, lo cuida, porque allí hay una bendición espléndida, escuchar la voz de la tierra.
Appreciate it. I think it's thank you so much for unpacking it a little bit more, so that yeah, not just me, but like other people's like really understand like what it means to go back to the lands, like, and going back to the spiritual connection. And then the funny thing is, and then that's, I've been thinking about it lately. When people talk about lockdown and quarantine, and like non-indigenous people, they when I talk about that, they realize the essence of life. You know, the need to have a healthy Mother Earth. You know, and so they realize things that we as indigenous peoples have been saying for thousands of years and doing for thousands of years. So in a way, it is, yeah, like almost as if people are starting to align themselves with us, their understanding, at least the general people. I'm not talking about politicians because they think differently, of course. But like general people, they like they align, at least in their thoughts. And I think that is also something that, well, how you explained it just now, Hoka, would be very helpful to them to really understand, because they always they like, it's almost like an iceberg, right? So they only see the top, but not the entire thing. And seeing the entire thing is very important if you want to really make sure that coming out of COVID-19, that we do that in a healthy way and in a sustainable way. At least that's what I've been thinking. And it's so funny when people talk about like quality of life, quality of environment, and suddenly they start to appreciate that they're the birds, you know, the trees, and it is so funny actually that something as tragic as COVID-19 needs to happen for people to start to understand what these peoples have been saying. So and then I think that my question is like how can we make sure that we keep that the biodiversity we see the biodiversity returning, like species that we thought that were extinct, they're back, or not back, they were there. They start to see that. And you see in India, you can see the Himalaya mountains all of a sudden because of less smog. So my question is like, what do you think? Like, how can you, or in your conversations that you had in Kuna Yala, or in Panama, or at TV Indigena, like how can we hold on to the positive side of COVID-19, or not side of COVID-19, but you know what I mean? Yeah. Sorry.
No, that's actually one of the positive things that we have been seeing through this pandemic time. And yeah, I think the best thing to keep the best part of this that we have seen the animals also here in Panama is happening too. the wild animal on the street and everything, so everywhere. So now we are the animal in cage. We the people.
Mm.
So they are free. So I think it's the best thing that we need to do is to share between the all all times our traditional knowledge to to find a balance. For example, yeah, I think we have a lot of people watching us, so to share that we know that would be good to share to another people, to understand, to feel what we indigenous people feel. Uh, because if I talk to someone, if that person doesn't feel, I'm pretty sure that he's gonna be like yes, 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 but he's not going to live with it. So we need to get to the people to understand why is that important, the biodiversity, to have our health and mother nature health really like perfectly as much as we can. So that I could say is, uh, if we go a bit backwards just to on time to see how our elders they used to live and how we can balance that with our daily life,
Hmm.
our this moment, I think there's the answer, because there were not a lot of impact that time on the nature. So we need to teach children, yeah, because the all people is quite like hard to they can get to understand, to change their life, but the children is the pure things that we can it's a seed.
Mm.
It's a seed, so we will have a really nice and beautiful trees in the future. So the children needs to have their roots really deep in on Mother Earth. So that would be really the things that I could say, that to to keep this moment that we have seen all around. One of the most important is the nature.
Right.
If the nature is healthy, we're gonna be healthy.
Mm.
So this a short thing that I could say about that.
No, no, appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I think that that'll definitely stick with a lot of people. That if nature is healthy, we are healthy. I think that that is something that, because it also ties into climate change. Like we met at COP25, of course, and the things. Do people in? I think I already know. Do people in on TV Indigena, do they link COVID-19 with climate change, or do they separate them?
No, actually, in general, I haven't seen that comments like that, related to COVID-19 and climate change. Also, because most of our followers is Kuna, and I think we haven't got the topic of climate change to get to understand pretty well. So even in our territory, a lot of young people, they don't know about the climate change, what's going on, and what happened on like at the COP, or what's
Mm,
going on there. There's a lot of things that we miss, still missing, and maybe we don't relate it with climate change, not
yeah.
yet. But
Mhm.
yeah, there are a few people that they are saying that it's like maybe increase the contacts, the infections, and a lot of things, but
Right.
not that a lot.
Hmm. Oh well, it'll. No, thank you, and I think it'll probably that conversation will happen at some point anyway. Um,
That would be nice.
yeah, I think it would be very important because it is very important that we also start thinking, like connecting the dots. Connecting climate change to COVID-19 and everything else. I think that is very important for us to, at least while we're on all in quarantine, that we do a lot of what I would call like homework. So when we come out of this, that we can actually, yeah, really go back into advocacy and making sure that we cover everything, that everything is um
Yeah, but actually, maybe we will have with Jocabed a topic like related to climate change on TV Indigena soon.
mhm.
So you will see. Maybe we will get to to get to the people to know about the topic, what's going on also.
Yeah, definitely. And I would the first time I actually start work with Jocabed was in also in COP25 in Madrid, and well, I can say it now. We had a negotiation sessions with the European Union, and Jocabed was part of the delegation from Indigenous Peoples, and we had like EU people on one side and Indigenous peoples on the other side, and yeah, well, people from all over the world, like 7 regions, and then 2 from Latin America. So it's Jocabed and Tali Terena from the Tali people in Brazil.
We will have her next week on Thursday
Oh,
on
awesome!
Indigena.
Jocabed and Tali, they no, I should explain it like in full. So we had demands, right, for the COP25. So I explained like in legal language, like negotiate as a negotiator, I was explaining everything, and then came Jocabed and Tylee, and they were so good in terms of explaining. Like I want my children to be able to shake the hands of your children, and like talking about that, like in emotion, bringing the emotions in it. Like, you remember that, Jocabed? You remember that?
Sorry. Tuve que salir a buscar algo que vinieron a traerme. Soy la única que salgo de la casa para que mi papá. ¿Cómo se dice?
Oh, okay. I'll wait a little bit for the translations. I was explaining the negotiations when we were with the EU. How amazing you and Tylee were when we sat at the negotiations table. I can't say too much about like the contents of it, but I definitely loved how you and Tylee explained what Indigenous peoples wanted and talked about it in a very from heart to heart. That's what was it. I was talking about the legal side, and you and Tylee were talking about the heart to heart, and that blew my mind. That was so amazing. So any
Wow, that's that happened, that's just because actually I was at the caucus that morning when
mhm.
Jocabet went to the like to represent us, but I went as a party, so I wanted to like raise my hand to be there, but I was on another side. But at least I introduced you to the Minister of Environment. But actually,
Oh,
it
right.
was a like great experience
Yeah.
for all of us. But I'm glad that the Hoka was there. So Hoka, maybe you can. And we should have another like tea time like this, like talking to explain to our people what happened there. Yeah.
Sure.
That's a good idea.
What's
Maybe we can invite to Tali.
moment, the negotiations, the time that we stayed over the night. Well, remember I was with you, Tylee, that the last night. That's
Yeah.
like I admire you, man. You have been a really great job, and yeah, this is my fear experience. Actually, I didn't know nothing about
What?
the
That was your
call.
first experience?
Yeah,
And I went as a party. I've never been.
Oh, wow. I thought you were longer at this than I was, because you two were so great in all the meetings.
No,
First time.
I love making networking, like
Mm.
looking like the spot or maybe a gap that we like indigenous people can get in. So I love it. I love it. I love that things, but it was my first experience. So I knew that before because my cousin Estebancio Masardule that they have been going a lot of times. So Imagine the first time that I'm with my elders, with the leaders in Panama, and I went as a party. So
Yeah.
it's like to be in another side. But I realized that we have a lot of that we can do a lot of things if we go so as a party,
Yeah.
because I could make up my networking with government representative from different countries, so I can go like a bit with indigenous people topics. Why is that important? This
Good.
article.
We need that. We
So
need
yeah, we need a lot of. Actually, that's I used to, like I was talking to Tylee one of the last days, so I realized that we need also people in the government, our people that
that.
share like with all these war view, the war everything. So then we can make that strong networking inside of the government things, you know.
Yeah, we need people in different spaces, and we can work together in different spaces. Maybe one is in the government, no one, yeah, someone in the government, and others like Asali, others like us. That is a team.
Yeah, we're definitely a team. I love the way that we work together in Madrid, and I hope that we continue to do so. Like in many more meetings to come. Any final thoughts? Because we're coming back on to the end of this conversation, of course. Any final thoughts, or Ini or Hoka, or something that I didn't ask or you want to talk about? Please do.
Ini, los caballeros primero ahora.
Well, actually, first of all, thanks for your invitation. It's really nice. Also to share that non Spanish speakers people, so that they can know, just not to know, also to understand what's happening over here, what we have been trying, what's the real situation, and that's I need to thank you, Gasali. Well, and then I would like to say that wherever you are, uh, that we we need to keep fighting, and as I said, if we indigenous people, our relatives, we have our needs in a normal situation, imagine at this time,
Mm.
and even more the development countries. Uh, and so I wouldn't like imagine what's going on in Brazil. Yeah, what's going on in Brazil. So I've been reading few news, and the people that they don't have like a lot of contact with people on their side. They're having a COVID. People affected. How come got there? What's
Mhm.
going on? And the government now is focusing on COVID, so they are not focusing about the patrolling and the protected areas in our territories and that kind of things. So this space has been great, and yeah, the my last thing is that the COVID-19 also brought a really positive talk, positive time to see the importance of the mother earth, the nature, and the importance of the family, that we need to be with the family all together, and the importance of the going work to the mainland. I say the mainland because we live on the island,
Yeah.
and to keep working because there is all the answer from the earth. So let's work with the children. And so I would like to say a lot of things, but maybe when it's the last time, you get all the ideas, mix it
Oh,
and
you have
everything.
your own TV show. You can say a lot more.
Yeah. So I
No,
invite you
thank you
to
so much.
the Indigena and night, Gasali. Please let me know when you are available. Then let me be your host at least once.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
So it will be really nice, and yeah, people get to know you, what you do, what are you doing, and about yeah. So thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Ini. Jocabed.
Well, thank you so much for inviting us to talk a little bit about Kuna people indigenous situation in Yala. Then just I want to say we need to be together to continue to resist, to continue to study better our narratives, to continue to understand better how we can do more good things together. And I think we have a lot of things we can share with other indigenous people, and we can learn a lot about other indigenous people. Well, thank you so much. Gracias a todos, a los que están escuchando en español, porque este espacio nos permite poder compartir, aprender, pero también nos encantaría seguir aprendiendo de otros pueblos indígenas, de otras comunidades y sus resistencias y sus luchas, que sigamos aprendiendo y estudiando los relatos de nuestros pueblos. Hay mucho que allí podemos maximizar, optimizar, aprender, pero sobre todo que tenemos que seguir unidos y unidas, reconociendo que somos hermanas y hermanos. Thank you, Gasali.
No, thank you, Hoka and Ini. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure having you in this final tea time. Well, maybe we'll have some more. I don't know. It depends on the viewers, of course. Like if they would like to have some more tea time. We're a people-driven idea. So thank you so much, Hoka and Ini. Thank you for your time. Oh, go ahead, Ini. I'll put.
You're good. No se escucha el audio.
I'm sorry. Before to get to the end, I wouldn't like to leave a few things that we had it during the conversation. It's about where we can find the information about what's going on indigenous territory. Casali, I know that you have you know a lot of people. Maybe one of our viewers would like to head on that topic. Please contact Mr. Casali. Yeah, to have our own statistic, because because the government sometimes they comes with a lot of lies, but if we got our own statistic to show this what's going on, this is happening in that country, so it can be available to all our relatives in around the world, that they can go to that specific page or Facebook page, whatever. So it would be useful. And if people needs help, please, if there would be any link that we can get to another people, any instruction that what would do, that would be perfect. For example, we are having really hard time to make our campaign on GoFundMe, because we don't have account on United States or country that is allowed. So maybe there are other people, a lot of our relatives, this the same situation that we can help. So that I would like to say.
Right. Any about your GoFundMe? That's something that popped into my head immediately. I work a lot with an organization based out of New York that works a lot with Indigenous peoples. I trust them with my life. It's called Tribal Link Foundation. So after this call, I will call them, and hopefully they can help you with setting up the GoFundMe. And it's run by an amazing lady, Pamela Kraft, and I'll definitely bring it forward. The need for you to have a set up your GoFundMe, and I'm sure that they will help you either do that and maybe even more. So I'll definitely do that for you. So we'll definitely keep in touch on that one.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Gracias a todos que nos ven.
Gracias a todos. I'll definitely learn Spanish more. I know the thing is, like, I know 12 languages, but Spanish is not one of them. So it is
Really? 12.
It is insane, actually.
12 languages. Wow.
Yeah. Well, not very fluently, but like I am almost fluent. So yeah, I really need to step up my game when it comes to Spanish. Be able to talk like face to face, heart to heart with Hoka and Ini when we do TV.
That's true.
appreciate it, the both of you. Thank you so much for your time, and yeah, hopefully let's stay in touch. Definitely, we'll talk more later on. And Hoka, well, you're in the messenger group, so definitely we'll continue working on what we have been discussing before, because I think something that Ini touched upon, like what is the outcome, what is the deliverable, what are we working on, what should we be working on. So that is, I think that also goes into my final monologue, my final monologue of tea time, which is that what we heard the last couple of days, Indigenous peoples from all around the world talking about the impacts of COVID-19 on human rights, rule of law, environment. How can we deploy our additional self-protection mechanisms, and yeah, what can we do to help one another? And basically, what I gathered was that there's a lack. First of all, there's a lack of knowing of statistics. So, like, we know if you're a Navajo Nation, we have heard about the devastating, the unforgiving situation with the Navajo Nation is right now. We have minimal information coming out of Brazil. We know now what's happening in Panama with the Kuna people. We know a little bit about the Sami, the Maori people in Aotearoa, but there's no hub, there's no web page or Facebook account that we can go to. So to really know what's going on in Indigenous territories, how COVID-19 is affecting Indigenous peoples, that is run by Indigenous peoples. So that is something that we should really look into, like how can we make sure that is happening. Something else that well, at least I gathered hosting these conversations was that we not only do we see the problematic impacts, but we also see the positive impacts, and in some way, we should be able to record them all, and also like be able to gather all this information, and so that we know how can make an informed decision regarding these peoples. The third one is something that came to light after the first meeting already, and that is a checklist for governments or states how to respect Indigenous rights, the rights of Indigenous peoples, while just responding to COVID-19. So there's an entire team behind this whole this tea time. Actually, this whole tea time was actually a product of what this team when this team met over Zoom a couple of weeks ago. So I'll lay this for the entire team to think about, and hopefully we'll come out with an idea or something that we can work on into next week. Maybe it's another tea time. I don't know. That depends on what you think as people that are watching it. This is a value, not value driven. We try to provide value, but it's definitely driven by the people, by you. So that is basically what we're going to do. That's my final monologue. Thank you so much for watching. Send me your comments, put in your comments and your thoughts, any questions in the comment section over on YouTube as well as Facebook. Huge shout out to all the guests that were on Tea Time. Thank you so much, and definitely looking forward to working a lot more with you. And also for this particular episode, for this show, for this final episode, huge shout out and thank you to our friends over at DOCIP. There are people right now on Zoom trying to translate my crazy thoughts and these conversations going back and forth. And they've been doing an amazing job. So thank you so much, DOCIP, and the interpreters for helping us out, facilitating this conversation. And hopefully we can. Yeah, this is the first time, right? So maybe we can do something in the future, and maybe we have to like streamline it a little bit more. But that is all future talk. Anyway, I'll let you go now. Please, of course, hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube. Hit the like button if you're on Facebook, so that I can keep you updated on, or we can keep you updated on what's going on Ini said it very well, that we need to keep on putting out information regarding Indigenous peoples in relation to COVID-19. So we'll be trying to do that, not just from my account, but like my friends as well. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. There was the final episode of Tea Time. So have a great day, night, morning, wherever you are. And interpreters and DOCIP, thank you so much. And hopefully see you guys soon somewhere. See ya.